Hello, my amazing students. This is Mrs. A, and I love math. And today we're doing lesson 59 in our blue book, and it's all about equations with mixed numbers. So now when we're solving equations with mixed numbers, the very first thing we want to do is turn the mixed number into an improper fraction, because we're always going to have to, in this case, multiply or divide. And when we multiply or divide by a mixed number, it gets messy. We want to turn it into a improper fraction, and then it's easy. So the very first step would be to take this 2 1/3 and turn it into 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 7/3 m equals 5. Okay, but to get rid of a fraction, I can multiply by its reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 3 over 7, but I must also do the same thing on the other side. This cancels out. I have my m all by itself. And remember, I can always put a 1 underneath the 5. And then nothing cancels, so I have 15 over 7. And 15 over 7 should go back into mixed numbers because I started with mixed numbers. A little math convention is whatever I start with, that's usually what my answer is going to be in. So let's see if our book turns it back into mixed numbers. Both are correct. It's just kind of a convention. So 15 over 7 is, 15 divided by 7 is 2 whole times, but then I have 1/7 left over. And that would be m. That is your first example out of just 2 examples. So we have one more example and then we'll do our practices. This is a pretty easy, fast lesson. I just checked the book and they did not turn it back into a mixed number, so I guess you can leave it 15/7. They're both right. On this problem, we have 2 mixed numbers. Okay, so we're going to turn 3 1/2. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7 halves. K equals 4 times 5 is 20 plus 1, 21 fifths. So now we both have them both in their improper form. In order to get K by itself, we want to get rid of our 7 halves. So we will multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. Remember, whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other. This cancels out and I get K. Now I'm looking, I have something that's going to simplify here. I have a 21 and a 7. So let's divide the top and the bottom by 7. And I'm going to get 21 divided by 7 is 3, 7 divided by 7 is 1, and nothing else will simplify. So 6 on the top divided by 5 on the bottom. And since your book is not turning that into a mixed number, I'm going to leave it just like that. But 6/5 would be 1 1/5. And both answers are correct. Now we're ready for our first practice problem. So copy this one down on your board and pause your video. Hopefully you did that. So we're going to change 2 1/4 to 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9/4. P equals, and we're going to change 8 1/2 to 16 plus 1 is 17 halves. So I'm trying to get P by itself. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of 9/4 is 4/9, but I'm going to do times 4/9 to both sides. This cancels. And over here, you can see that my 2 and my 4 would simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. But nothing is going to simplify any further. So we're going to be left with 17 times 2 is 34 over 9. And there's nothing I can do to simplify it. Now, I could turn it into a mixed number, but that is perfectly fine. If I turned it into a mixed number, it would be 34 divided by 9 is 3 times. And that would be 27. And then 14 minus 34 minus the 27 would be 7/9. So whether you left it as 34/9 or 3 7/9, either one is fine. One more practice problem. Last practice problem. Copy it down and pause your video. Okay, so we're going to change 3 1/4 into 7/2. X equals 21/21/5. To get rid of the 7/2, we're going to multiply it by 2/7, multiplied by 2/7. The 7 and the 21 will cancel with a 3 and a 1, and we're going to get 6/5 again. So we've had 6/5 twice on this lesson here. Okay, so this one is the last practice problem, and we are done with lesson 59. And this is Mrs. A, and may God bless your day.